Yo, what's going on everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explained here, bringing you guys part 5 to What If Itachi was discovered by the Akatsuki as a spy. For those of you who have not seen parts 1 through 4, with part 4 having custom animation for the cutscenes, I highly recommend checking out parts 1 through 4. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into part 5 of What If Itachi was discovered as an Akatsuki spy. The night after the defeat of Kinshiki, Urashiki, and Momoshiki, while Itachi spent the time with his wife and children inside of the remains of the Uchiha shrine, Sasuke would stay out front, keeping a lookout for future problems. Though he and Itachi had helped defeat 3 Otsutsuki, to Konoha, Itachi was still the person who massacred the Uchiha clan. Sasuke was still known as the former Akatsuki member who killed Tsunade, killed the elders, killed Danzo, killed Sakura, and killed Naruto Uzumaki. Helping protect the village in the manner that he did still wouldn't have wiped the slate clean for everything that Sasuke's done in the past. Thinking about how Itachi's children were forced to spend time in the village without seeing their father, only seeing him when they are able to leave out the village on occasion, Sasuke would consider placing the current Hokage under a genjutsu to speak with the Hokage alone, explaining everything that happened. However, upon picking up on a disturbance in the distance, Sasuke would know that he and Itachi had overstayed their welcome at the Uchiha shrine remains. While Sasuke would be tempted to grab Itachi, fleeing with his brother so as to prevent Itachi's wife and children from being associated with him and compromising their life in Konoha, Sasuke would think of how his brother's face softened whenever he was around his wife and children. He'd think about the pride that Itachi showed when he watched his children in the tuning exams, and he wouldn't want his brother Itachi to have those precious moments taken away from him. Sasuke would decide to head off into the forest. There, he would handle the threat that awaited him alone, and it'd be here that the following scene would occur. Upon defeating the large unit of Anbu Black Ops and adult Neji, who in this timeline would be the captain of the Anbu Black Ops, Sasuke would double back quickly to the shrine and grab Itachi. After hugging his nephew and niece goodbye, Sasuke and Itachi would depart from Konoha. After a few hours passed by, Neji and the Anbu would be discovered. The Anbu beaten unconscious and Neji knocked unconscious by Sasuke's genjutsu. The Hokage would find it strange that Sasuke first acted to protect the village from the invasion, and now instead of killing Neji and the Anbu, Sasuke had defeated them all without killing them. The Hokage would think back to the events of 15 years ago. Konoha was under attack. Sasuke had used the confusion of Pain's invasion to kill the elders, slicing off their heads. He killed the Hokage at the time, Tsunade. He killed Sakura right before Naruto's eyes, and aided in having Naruto sealed away by the Akatsuki. However, why would an enemy of Konoha go out of their way to protect a village where he was listed as a rogue ninja who had killed so many in the past? Things didn't add up. While Might Guy as Hokage certainly wouldn't be the smartest and the sharpest tool in the drawer, Might Guy would be able to come to quite a few conclusions. It would be then, at that time, that Might Guy would notice the red eye staring at him from the corner of his Hokage office. Using the Genjutsu, Sasuke will reveal the truth to the current Hokage of Konoha, explaining that Itachi, under the orders of Konoha, had slaughtered the entire Uchiha clan, was spying on the Akatsuki from the shadows before he was eventually caught. And that after Sasuke joined the Akatsuki, it was upon seeing his best friend Naruto in the process of dying as he was being sealed away that Sasuke came to his senses, and that he and Itachi fought to save the ninja world. Making the Genjutsu more elaborate, Sasuke would show him the battles that unfolded after Naruto died. The battles with Madara, the battles with Obito, the battles with Kaguya. Everything would be put on full display for Might Guy as Hokage to see. Sasuke would tell him that he can't change the crimes that he's done in the past, but he would protect the village from the shadows to the best of his ability. That's why he spared Neji and the Anbu. He said that Konoha just had a huge threat, and that threat must be addressed going forward. Sasuke would reveal that 13 years ago he was the one who battled and defeated Toneri, someone connected to Kaguya, and now the three Otsutsuki who attacked the village, they had just appeared. Sasuke would tell Hokage Might Guy that he planned to use the Rinnegan to search through Kaguya's dimensions for more information, because too many Otsutsuki had come to the earth in the past few years. Sasuke will reveal all the information he'd gotten from reading Urashiki's mind before he killed him, telling Guy that the true threat had yet to show itself. Sasuke would stop short of revealing that Itachi's wife and children were inside of Konoha, not sure just yet if he could trust the Hokage fully. When asked why Sasuke and Itachi were seen near the Chunin exams just after the invasion began, Sasuke would simply state that he was protecting the king. It would be at that point that the Genjutsu would lift, and Sasuke would use an insane body flicker to vanish from the room before the Hokage could think. In the year afterwards, Sasuke would notice the small incremental changes that had been made to his karma seals that began to spread. It would be during the events of the Owl arc that a major change would occur. During that time, Sasuke and Itachi at their homes near the border of the Land of Fire. Sasuke and Itachi would notice a huge blimp that suddenly went down, which we know because of the manga crashed because it was given as an opportunity for Kawaki to escape. Upon racing to the scene, Sasuke and Itachi would arrive just as Konoha's ninja arrived on the scene to collect data. Deciding to keep their distance, Sasuke and Itachi wouldn't reveal themselves, not until Ao decided to appear and fight on behalf of Kara. Given how talented Itachi's children were, I could see one of his children being on this mission. In my opinion, this would give Itachi all the more incentive to step in once Ao began brandishing the machine gun. Crows would begin circling around Ao as he began to fire the gun. In one fell swoop, Sasuke removed the Jonin squad leader of Itachi's child's team, whisking them from the cave to safety. Despite Ao still likely having his body enhanced by ninja tech, which is very possible given that the ninja tech would enhance his strength, and Ao, as we all know from the manga, has been shown to be receptive to using technology, I still think that Itachi bodies Ao in this fight, and I don't think Itachi has any difficulty. If we go by the Itachi Midnight novel and take out what was stated at face value, then Itachi, just before the events of the massacre began to play out, had finally bested Shisui in a sparring match. Given that Shisui fodderized Ao, I could see this version of Itachi, who had 15 years to train alongside Sasuke, being able to dismantle Ao despite the various ninja tech that Ao would be able to use in battle. If by some miracle that Ao is able to pressure Itachi, then I could see Sasuke stepping in right away and ending the fight immediately. In any case, the moment that Sasuke attempts to use the King of Hell in order to interrogate Ao, I could see Kashin Koji appearing from the shadows, quick to have Ao killed off before Sasuke could walk up to him to begin the interrogation. Upon seeing Kashin Koji standing by, this is where things get interesting. Sasuke would see Koji's cloak and think back to the Akatsuki. He'd also wonder why the masked man had stopped in front of him and stopped him from interrogating Ao. Given how knowledgeable that Koji was about Mitsuki and Team 7, I could see Koji knowing exactly who Itachi was and knowing exactly who Sasuke was. Upon demanding to know exactly who he was, I could see Koji attempt to use the frog gulp sealing jutsu on Sasuke, but given how talented Sasuke and Itachi are, I could see them, especially in comparison to Konohamaru, I could see them being able to avoid the jutsu just before it's activated. While Itachi shot off a fireball jutsu, Sasuke would use it as a diversion to swap places with Ao's dead body. Chidori activated, Sasuke would clash with Kashi and Koji's Rasengan. While this version of Sasuke is several times more powerful than the version of Sasuke we see in the Boruto manga, I do believe that given the lack of intel and the situation, that Sasuke would have to restrain himself while he used the Chidori, since he would want to interrogate Ao as well, and so he stopped short of trying to kill him. Sasuke would use just enough force to blow Koji backwards, damaging his arm in the process, perhaps maybe even blowing it off. While Itachi smartly attacked Koji from his blind side, Sasuke will watch the moves of his enemy. It will be upon seeing the toad summoning placed on Itachi's leg that Sasuke would realize that the toad was about to explode, and at the last minute he tried to swap places with the toad. However, as we know from Kashi and Koji vs Jigen, Koji is observant enough to figure out Sasuke's Rinnegan has a range to it, and this is where our first major change would occur. Just as originally Boruto's Karma Seal flared up upon seeing Konohamaru burned, Sasuke's Karma Seal would go off and absorb the flames that are eating away at Itachi. Sasuke would know right away that this was different than his normal Rinnegan jutsu, and he looked down at his hand. It would be at this moment I believe Kashi and Koji would retreat. However, as the ruckus of Kawaki versus the Ninja Tech puppets began to rage on, I could see Sasuke and Itachi giving chase, thinking it was connected to Kashi and Koji. Upon finding Kawaki's unconscious body, this is where another major change occurs. Sasuke would notice Delta and Kashi and Koji hidden in the distance, mostly because his ocular powers would allow him to see the chakra color that surrounded their bodies. He'd also have Kawaki in front of him, but upon seeing Delta's subordinate show up with the intention to capture Kawaki, Sasuke would have a few problems to address. He knew that Kawaki had a Karma Seal just like him by looking at his hand, and that these people appeared to be after him. Sasuke would know that he and Itachi had just stumbled into a problem they had absolutely no intel about. Who was right? Who was wrong? What was their objectives? There were too many questions he didn't have the answer to. For a ninja like Sasuke, this would have been unacceptable. However, with Itachi's child nearby, he wouldn't be able to do too much. Instead, I believe that upon seeing Kawaki fight Delta's underling, Sasuke would motion for Itachi to follow him because Kawaki appeared to be holding his own. The two would speed blitz Kashi and Koji and Delta. This is where a truly remarkable battle would occur. Itachi would fight the injured Kashi and Koji, and Sasuke would square off against Delta. While we don't have much info on Kashi and Koji, we do know that he's able to keep up with Jigen at 10% of his power. I could see Itachi being relative to Koji, making the fight close. And given Sasuke would have injured Koji, I could see Itachi winning the fight with high difficulty. Sasuke's battle, however, turns out to be much different. This version of Sasuke is significantly more powerful than he is in the Boruto manga. Sasuke has both halves of the Sage's Six Paths power. He has the Rinnegan and he has the Karma Seal. Even if Delta uses her I-Beam Jutsu, I believe that Sasuke is fast enough to avoid the attack, and eventually, once he becomes annoyed enough by Delta fighting back, Sasuke will whip out his perfect Susanoo, take out his long sword, and thrust every inch of it into Delta's body before slowly pulling it out. Sasuke would notice the drone on Delta's body and immediately destroy it, effectively destroying Delta. Sasuke will look back at his karma as it began to resonate with Kawaki's. The Karma Seal will begin to spread across Sasuke's left side of his body as Kawaki continued to fight. Sasuke's curiosity would grow as he watched the Jonin squad leader for Itachi's child rush out to get to Kawaki's body. Knowing that Konoha was now in possession of Kawaki, Sasuke will use the Genjutsu to read the mind of Kashi and Koji. Learning of Koji's alliance with Amado, what Kara exactly was, and the limited intel that Koji had on Karma, and most importantly, he learned that Jigen was the leader of Kara. I believe that discerning the truth from Kashi and Koji would be enough that he would understand that Koji Koji is working as a double agent against Jigen. Whatever Koji's as of yet to be disclosed in the manga ties to Konoha are, Sasuke will learn them, and that would let Sasuke trust Koji. However, he, Koji, and Itachi would have to formulate a plan, perhaps with the assistance of Amado, but only after Sasuke updated the Hokage. However, before any plan could be put into place, a major change would occur. Delta being killed and Koji's absence would be red flags to Jigen. Sasuke would be likely to be sticking around Konoha in order to observe Kawaki. I could see Sasuke and Itachi being thrust in a situation where they're forced to battle Jigen. However, while I do think this version of Sasuke is significantly more powerful than the one that we got in the manga, you have to look at it from this perspective too. Itachi is so far beneath them in power, I could see Sasuke, despite potentially being as strong or stronger than Jigen, being in a disadvantage because his brother is far outclassed in this fight. Eventually, I could see Sasuke, after still pushing Jigen's body close to the point of breaking down, being forced to retreat because of the near fatal injuries that his brother Itachi received in the fight, because essentially Itachi would be fodder in this fight. In the aftermath of this battle, I could see Sasuke, through Kashin Koji, being put into contact with Amado. It will be here that Amado will tell him that he helped Jigen recover and that Sasuke will begin to make his next move. While Koji appeared before Jigen, attempting to explain his absence, once the battle of Kashin Koji versus Jigen began, I could see Sasuke arriving in the space where the battle takes place, only this time Sasuke would have help. A four-man team of Sasuke, Itachi, Hokage Might Guy, and the future Hokage, Lady Tenten herself, would arrive via Sasuke's teleportation. It would be due to the overwhelming superior battle strategy of Kashin Koji and Itachi, Might Guy fighting using the 7th gate against 10% Jigen, and this beefed up version of Sasuke, as well as the incredibly powerful Lady Tenten, that I believe Jigen would be defeated. I also believe that Sasuke used the human path to rip out the soul of Ishiki upon defeating Jigen, though given the situation with Ishiki, I could see there being some issue. But given that Jigen stated that Sasuke was the more dangerous one, I could still see Sasuke being smart enough to find a way to rip out the soul of Ishiki. And that's where we're gonna bring this what if to a close, because we don't know what's happening next in Boruto due to the current events of the manga still unfolding and everything that we have as far as loose ends in the storyline. I'm gonna bring this what if to a close. I know somebody's probably asking, hey man, you know, I remember when you first uploaded part 4, you know, I could have swore you said Sakura was a Hokage. Just gotta say, if you watch that video now, I actually edited that part out because I made a bit of a boo-boo, because it had been so long since I had done parts 1 through 3, and I thought that the story was gonna end with part 3, because I said we had to hit a certain light goal. We didn't hit it, but I got so many people asking for part 4. I just did part 4 off the top of my head because I remembered a lot of the story, but I forgot that I made a change at the last minute when I did part 3, where I killed Sakura. Originally, I wasn't going to kill Sakura off because I thought it'd be really cool to make Sakura the Hokage in a part 4, and you have the Sasuke being a rogue ninja framed for Naruto's murder, even though he participated in it, but being validated by defeating Kaguya, having that type of romance going on. I was really going to go that angle for part 4, but I decided to kill Sakura off. I didn't think you guys were going to want a part 4, so I made a little bit of a boo-boo in part 4, but if you listen to it, you can't even tell now. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below, and make sure you go subscribe to Kaguya Saiyan, the guy who did the animation for this one as well as the animation in part 4. But as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching until then. Have an awesome day, guys.